Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Page of Swords podcast. This is episode 10, and today I'm bringing my first IFBB Pro guest, Kayla Murphy. So, Kayla, let's just start off with the easy questions. What's your age and where are you located right now?
Right now, I live in Woodridge, Illinois. I moved back here in 2018 from North Carolina just to be closer to family. I'm 30. It's gross.
That's not
but
gross. That's
it is what it is.
Now, do you ever hear people say that the age 30 is a good age for bodybuilding, 30 to 35? Do you believe in that?
Yeah. I mean, I learned in school that people they hit their peak in their 30s when it comes to weightlifting and performance like that. So it's when you look at professional athletes, they're actually hitting their performance peaks in their 30s because you're not you've developed all that mature muscle. So
yeah,
I guess that's the one thing I have to look forward to is I've hit that. So, but I feel it's only downhill from here now.
Oh, well, no, it's okay. You're still young in bodybuilding. I mean, and how long have you been a pro?
I did my first pro season last year. So just a year.
Just a year. So you're a baby in the sport for the pro league anyways, right?
What's that?
Do you consider yourself still a baby in the pro league then?
Oh yeah. I'm I don't know what's going on. All my shows, I did 3 shows last year. My coach couldn't make it to any of them, so I was by myself. And I was absolutely terrified.
Who's your coach?
His name is Matt Cusano. He's out of North Carolina. I met him when I was living there.
Okay, cool. I think I have seen your coach before. What's his username again?
It's a Mr. Hyde _XF Army.
Okay, cool. And how long you said you've been working with him?
Since he's A1 since day one. I have not done any other coaches. I've been with him since 2016.
That's awesome. I mean, of course, then that means he's the one that got you pro, right?
Yes.
How many pros does he have?
I think me right now, there's just that he's created just me and a guy, a classic physique guy named Zach Romano, I believe is his last name. But he'd also had made another girl pro, but she had switched over to a different team after a while. But and I think he's got some other pros on the team that he didn't make, but he has other pros on the team too.
Okay, cool. And so your physique, I don't think I brought that up yet. Your physique. Did you start in any other division before physique?
Yes. Okay. My original plan was to do physique from the get-go when I first started working with Matt. But I had a really bad back injury that I had ended up having surgery on my spine. I herniated a disc when I was lifting. I was lifting like a dummy. So I had to have surgery on my spine, and that kind of set me back. I lost a lot of muscle from that because I had to take 2.5 months off. So I ended up doing figure first.
Okay.
Get my feet wet in the sport in general. So.
Now, when you had that injury, how did you say you did that injury? Did you say?
I was deadlifting.
Deadlifting. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I have a friend who has hurt herself before or had back surgery. And what would you tell people getting back into the gym? I'm not a coach or anything. And when people have questions like that, I'm listen, I'm not a physical therapist or anything, but I feel back and stuff. I mean, you should ease back in, right? Did you have to do that?
Yes, I absolutely I'm a strength and conditioning coach for youth to college level athletes currently. So I have to deal with that BS every day. But I'm huge on, and I wasn't always like this, obviously, growing up as the youngest in my family, and sports were everything to me. I was go, 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 go. I never wanted to slow down. I've been hurt several times, and I would always try to, push through it or all of that. But when I had my first big injury was when I had to learn that you have to ease your way back into it. And I do preach that to my athletes and other people that have come to me for questions and advice on that. Easing your way back into it is way better than trying to go full throttle right after you're released, because you still have a high risk of re-injuring yourself still. So absolutely easing your way back into it is the way to go. It sucks and it's annoying, but it's better than re-injuring yourself and being out for like another 6 months or whatever.
Okay, so after you healed up from your injury, then you did the figure. So you said that was 2017?
Yes,
Okay.
2017 in April, I believe, is my first show.
Okay. Yeah, I can bring that up. I see that here. You screen share. One moment. Okay, that should be showing up, I think.
Yep. There I am.
Yeah, and you have the green suit. I think I see you a lot with green suits, right? Is that your go-to?
That was the first suit I had. I have 3.
Mm-hmm.
I wore that one for my first 3 shows.
Okay. How did you do at the show?
At that show, I think I was so mad. I won't lie. I was so freaking mad that I got 3rd in like the novice division. They told me I was too big, and I was like, I look better than every single other girl in there. And they said, like, you looked too good for novice, so they didn't choose you. And I was like, that's gay. That's so dumb. I was so mad.
Gosh.
But and then I ended up getting 2nd in my class in the open. So I was like, how does this make sense? I was so angry.
Yeah, it says April 4th here. Yeah, I see you got 2nd in the figure class, then 3rd. Yeah, in the novice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you have amazing delts.
Thank you.
Shoulders. Yeah, I mean, it's good for figure, but then I guess when you're an amateur, they kind of like get nervous about it. Like,
yeah.
So then in 2018, it says that you went to
WPD. So the green suit before that you were just at, that was where you're at right now. That was my first national show, first and only national show. But the show before that was Mid-Atlantic in Charlotte.
Okay.
And I got 2nd in my class, qualified for nationals, which was the goal. But once again, I was of course upset with my placing. I was such a sore loser when I first started this. My coach had to like tell me, shut up. You can't talk like that backstage. Like, that makes you look bad. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm just so mad.
At least you're honest about being mad, like, yeah. I get it that we all are there to win.
Right. He's like, you looked great, Kayla. That's all that matters. It's you versus you. And I'm like, I know, but I just wanted to get first place for once.
Well, you sure did get it when you moved the physique there, huh? You got first place in the women's class?
Yeah, that was nationals. I did get first place in my class in figure the 2nd show that I did.
Okay.
That was cool. But I was upset that I didn't win the overall, of course. I was throwing a fit backstage about that too. But I swear that was a whole politics thing. And I mean, that's just the sport, but but my first national show was in Teaneck, New Jersey. And that's where I got my pro card too. I did win my division, or win my class, because I'm taller. It kind of stinks because when you're taller, there's not that many girls in the sport that are as tall as me. So there was 3 people, including myself, in my class at nationals. And I was kind of bummed about it because the other 2 ladies were masters.
Yeah. Oh, so they already
both got their pro cards because they were like the only 2 masters in physique.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, pretty much by default, I got my pro card. Not technically, because if I would have gotten 3rd in my class to the other 2, then I wouldn't have gotten it. But I gotten it, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about the way that I got this pro card. And everyone's like, you still put in the work. You did all the prep. You did everything. You look better than you did last time. But I was like, I know, but I felt like, I still don't feel like I earned that. I didn't really beat that many people to get it. It was weird. And then I kind of just, I got over it, and I was like, all right, on to the next thing. Now it's pro shows, which are more terrifying. So let's
Did you
go.
take some time off between nationals and your first pro show? Like,
I
it's
not a very long time. I actually had never taken that more than like 5 months off.
okay.
Very, very dumb of me to do that. Like, it's pretty dumb for anyone to do that because that's not enough time to actually heal your body.
Well,
And
it's good to
I
bring that up.
suffered from
Like,
it. So
a lot of people don't think that way, so it's good that you bring that up because we're all stubborn and we want to get on stage, and it takes time to build the muscle, especially. So it's good to hear, especially you're going into a pro show and you're already right away like, yeah, probably wasn't long enough. But how'd you do?
yeah. So I did Omaha Pro, that was my pro debut, and I got the goal was to get top 8, and I got 8th place. So that was awesome. That my coach was like, that's actually extremely good placement for your pro debut, because I think there were like 23 girls there, and I got 8th place out of that many. Like, that was cool to me. So that was the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life by myself. And my parents were there, but it's like they couldn't be backstage with me. But I was like texting my coach, like, I look like crap. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. And he's like, you need to stop it and calm down,
No way.
or else you will look like crap.
No way. That looks like an epic, like, first IFBB pro debut, man. That's like,
Yeah.
looks like you had the conditioning. It's just that when you're new to that big of a stage and stuff, I mean, you're going to be nervous, that's for
Oh,
sure.
hell yeah. And like doing my routine, once you go from NPC to IFBB,
Yes.
the length of time you have to do your routine, and it's longer. And I was like, oh my God, I have to be up there for a minute and a half and not like 45 seconds. I was so scared. I don't want to do this.
What kind of routine did you do at your pro debut?
Shoot, I don't even remember. I just actually,
You just kind of winged it?
no, I didn't wing it. My coach had sent me a video of this guy who did a really awesome routine. And I can't remember what his name is on Instagram. I feel like he's from Hawaii or something, but he did an awesome routine. And I was like, I think I can take like little bits of that and make it my own. And I pretty much did his routine with my own little spin on it, which I can't freestyle that shit. I'm not that talented in posing. It's hard enough as it is just standing up there to pose, let alone doing it to rhythm or to music. I don't really have that good rhythm to do that. So it worked. It was okay. I think I did the same routine at every show that I did. And I think my last show that I did was the best version of that. It was so much more fluid.
Yeah, it got better as you went. And
yeah.
Do the judges give feedback on like, obviously your physique, but what about the presentation? Do they go, oh, you shouldn't have moved so much, or?
And I was talking to my coach about this like a couple weeks ago, and he's like, they don't care about your posing, to be honest with you. The only time posing is good is if there's a part of you that doesn't look good enough, and you can pose to make it look better. You can be like, it's like an optical illusion, basically. So he's like, the routines, who cares? Like, whatever. Just go up there. He's like, some of the girls that go to Olympia are some of the worst posers. He was like, Shanique Grant's not that good of a poser. And I was like, yeah, her routines are pretty on point. He's like, but otherwise, like, she just already looks amazing from every single angle. So it doesn't even matter if her posing is good or not. Right. But as for like feedback from judges on posing, I never got posing feedback. It was always physique feedback for me.
Oh, what kind of stuff do they tell you, like, for physique, like conditioning or anything?
Lord, it was pretty much the same every time. They're like, you need to either bring your legs down or bring your lats up to match your wheels. That's what the judge, he was like, your legs are huge. Yeah, you either need to bring them down or get your back bigger.
Yeah, when I saw your figure pictures, I was like, yeah, you've always done some good, nicely. And you said you're taller, so that's like really impressive. What do you do?
So I'm like being 5'7" and being in this sport is a lot harder than people think. Everyone's like, oh, like you're so much bigger than all them. I was like, yeah, but the shorter you are, the more proportionate you look.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Yeah, I have a bodybuilding buddy who's like really tall, and that's probably like his big thing. He's so upper body dominant that like his legs need work, but they're just
Yeah.
so long. So
It's hard. Yeah. It's like, that's a long way to go down to squat. Shit.
yeah. Is that what you do a lot of for your legs? Squats and
Like since I'd hurt my back, I didn't squat for like 6 months after that. So, I hate squatting now because I get low back pumps like crazy all the time.
Mhm.
So what I've done is a lot of leg extensions, I'll use like a belt squat instead of loading my spine.
Okay.
So I'm still doing that the same movement, but I'm just not going to destroy my back. But, and leg press too, lunges, stuff like that. Pretty generic, typical things. I don't do anything super crazy, just a lot of high volume stuff. But my legs have always been big since
Yeah.
I was in high school. I played volleyball and I ran track in high school and in college. So I was just like thunder thigh central all the time.
Are you doing like drop sets and with your like leg press and stuff?
Yeah, I actually have been. I started doing that just recently. It was a bunch of back offsets. I trained with a group of people or a group of guys that I'm friends with, and they were doing back offsets, and I was like, "What the heck is this? We're not done. I hate this." So I'm like,
Like,
"Oh yeah, no, let's go down really light and just go until you can't go anymore."
yeah, like
Super.
it's a lot, but I think that that works for me too. That's why I was wondering if you do that, if it's
Yeah.
too much, because I feel like legs can sometimes be tricky. Sometimes
Hmm.
maybe doing too much isn't always the best, but I don't know, drop sets, high volume seems to work.
Yeah. As
Mm.
long as you're getting that pump, I feel like it's doing something, and you're sore. Like every single leg day I've done since that one day I trained with that group of guys, my legs are always sore. And I'm just like, well, the more damage I'm doing to the muscle, the more growth I'm going to get out of it. Right.
Yeah, and that's good that you say that too, because leg day soreness is like a lot to handle.
Yes. Especially when you work on your feet all day. Like I don't get to sit down like ever for 9 hours, and I got to demonstrate stuff to kids too. And I'm just like moaning and groaning, like getting up and down off the ground. It's like, don't mind me. I'm just 30. It's okay. And they're like, what?
I'm just trying to hide my pain. And you were talking about before we were recording about massages and stuff. So you say, how often do you go get a massage?
Every Friday morning I get a massage, and it's deep tissue. It's extremely painful,
Yeah.
and he's brutal, but it like I don't know if it was a couple days ago, I posted a picture of my legs, and I was like, they did not look like that before I went in to see him. And then I came out and I just had lines, like so many more lines. And I found this guy just recently, just via social media, and a lot of people that I know around here have been going to see him. And he's like not your typical massage therapist. Like he doesn't play the Zen music. He's got heavy metal blasting in his massage room, freaking chains hanging from the ceiling. He's got blue lights in there instead of like an ambient light.
Mhm.
And it's like he's just got a bunch of like spooky stuff in there right now because it's Halloween. So he's just like, he calls it the dungeon, and it looks like it. He's like, I'm gonna get a fog machine in here and be really sweet. And I'm like, oh my god, what did I get myself into? And then I fell in love. Like he absolutely obliterates me, and I probably call him the son of a bitch like 17 times in a session, but I always come out feeling a little bit better than I do when I walk in there. So that's really the point. And I've never done this consistently, and I think it's really gonna freaking help like open up things. My back has always been super tight, so being able to rotate better during posing is gonna be helpful
Yes.
too. So
Yeah, pain and pleasure is what that is.
yeah,
But it
pretty much.
goes a long way, because that's what I was going to ask you with the whole leg day stuff, if your massages contribute to better growth and everything, if you've been seeing that.
Yeah, I actually think so. I feel like every time I go and see him, so every Friday I train back on Saturdays and legs on Sundays.
Mhm.
And I've been getting way better pumps after just getting everything released and flushed out. So I definitely think that whatever he's doing, as painful as it is definitely working. So I'm not gonna, I love him to death. He's hilarious. If you like, you should follow him. He's just a character.
You know what his
Like,
Instagram is?
it's like Destroy.
Okay.
I can't remember. I'll have to send you his profile.
Yeah,
It's
send it
epic.
to me.
If
I'll
you
even
ever come to Chicago, you should definitely like go say, "Hey, I'm in Chicago. I need to come see you." Like,
I'll
he's
put it
brutal.
in the notes. I
He
like
makes grown men
people
cry.
that. That'll be fun. Yeah, I have a guy too that's like that with the heavier music, and like it's just you just feel more relaxed. It's like you're in that gym atmosphere almost.
Yeah,
But this because it kind
I'm
of
at
is a
home.
workout. I'm like, just dig your elbow into my quad and just watch me like be
The
paralyzed.
sharpest elbows I've ever felt in my entire life. Not even joking. It's wicked.
Does he use any cupping or Graston on you?
Yes, he does. He did glide. He did do some cupping and gliding on my back the other day, and he does use he uses elk horns instead of the metal for Graston tools.
Cool.
It's a little smoother. It's not nearly as rough because he presses really freaking hard. He shows no mercy. He's like, I'm afraid I would do serious damage to people's tissue if I used a piece of metal all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really a big fan of the elk horns instead of using metal, which I've got my own pieces of metal that I use to torture myself with from time to time too. And I have my own cupping set. So when I can't see him, I do it to myself, which is better than nothing.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that it has to be nice to at least have at home. I have one of those like massage guns though, and I rarely use it, and I should probably use it more. But I
Yeah,
don't know. I would rather somebody do the work to
I
me.
know. It's tiring.
I'm so lazy or something. Like, it's
So
not
am I.
it's here, but I don't want to do it.
It's different when someone else is putting the hurt on you. Like, I was like, I don't feel this much pain when I do this to myself. I must not be pushing hard enough.
Yeah, and then I don't think about it so much because, like, I don't know if your guy does it, but mine, he's like, he'll talk to you the whole time and keep you
Yeah,
calm. So if I'm
I'm
doing it,
not calm. He just goes, yeah, right fucking there. Like, he like, that's where it hurts. So I was like, no shit. I'm dying. Like, I'm sweating my ass off on this table. And
right?
he's like, oh dang, you're really sweating. And I was like, dude, this is like working out. You're killing me right now.
I remember following your prep, and you were always like you always talk
Oh,
about sweating. You
so
must be
sweaty.
a person.
It's terrible. It sucks, but it's part of the life.
So what makes me think about cardio. So like, what kind of cardio do you do in your like? Are you still considered off season? Are you prepping right now?
No, I'm still in my off season. I won't start prep till November. So this whole off season's been a freaking trip. I won't lie.
Okay.
Just like, we tried prepping in January, nothing happened. I was not responding to anything, wasn't responding to any supplements, wasn't responding to any like extra cardio, less cardio, more food, less food, nothing. It was just absolutely terrible. And then I got blood work done. He's like, yeah, your estrogen is totally fucked. You have estrogen dominance. I had bad like liver enzymes, my kidneys were shot, like everything was just shot. I had literally been training 6 days a week for the last 4 years leading up to that, and doing cardio in the off season. I would do fasted cardio in the off season. Like, he's like, I don't really want you to, but you're like 200 pounds, so you kind of need to. And I'm like, well, thanks, dude. But so I used to do, like, I would have 20 minutes of fasted cardio in the morning, and then he would have me do like 15 to 20 minutes post lift. And like, I was like, I'm basically dying inside, and I don't feel like I'm dying inside until you get blood work and you see that you're literally dying inside. And that was a really freaking hard pill for me to swallow, that he's like, yeah, we're going to have to extend your off season. He's like, you know what? You're going to take a year off. And I cried. I literally cried. I was so mad. I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm tired of being fluffy. I'm tired of being fat. I'm so sick of this. I would just want to get back on stage. And then like, eventually I was like, you know what? We got to do something, because nothing's working no matter what I do. Even if I was doing stuff and not telling him, it wasn't working for me. So he actually, my coach, God bless his freaking soul, spent like $1,000 to take this course on hormone and gut issues to help, to basically to start out by helping just me on the team, because I was the one that was struggling the most. He knew that this would be beneficial down the road, which hell it is. He's now got people just signing up with him just for that, for him to fix their hormones, fix their gut issues and all this stuff. And I was like, holy shit. And he's like, it's going to be a long process. It's probably going to be 6, 8, maybe even 12 weeks before you're even remotely close to back to normal. And I'm still not normal, but I'm 10 times better than I was before that. So, and because he took that class and we actually, it was using a lot of supplements from the brand New Ethics that I post about all the time. Their products are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. That stuff helps so much. And I'm actually now, like, I am an ambassador for the company. So I have a code, all this stuff. And he sends everybody that's signed up with him, he sends my code to them. So I'm like, yes.
Good. Yeah, that's by Jason, that Scooby Prep guy, right?
Yeah.
Company.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as soon as you said your coach was getting less or like educated on that stuff, I instantly thought of that Scooby Prep guy, because he's listening to his podcast and they talk about hormone stuff all the time.
Yeah, and they're so, like, I listen to his podcast too, and the what's it called? Excellence Cartel, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, with Jeffrey
so awesome.
and the other Jeff. Yeah.
So, like, such good information. And then the people that they, like, the extras that they bring on too, like Megan, one of Jason's clients. She's freaking amazing. Started out being anorexic, and now look at her, like,
her X frame is just like
unreal.
I'm like,
what?
I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of glad that she's moving out of figure. Because
I'm not.
I was like, well, I know. I was like, dude, she was huge on stage.
Her lats are insane. I was like, dude, your legs are massive. You should be in WPD. The only thing she needs to work on are her shoulders and her biceps and her triceps. And she's golden. Like nothing else. So you're perfect.
She's tall, isn't she? Is she in the tall class?
Yeah, I think she's probably about my height, maybe like 5'6" or 5'7". But she's just like she's a freak. And I love it, but she's gonna be someone to keep your eye out for sure in WPD. Yeah. I'm glad she decided to switch, because she was like, you're gonna have to lose a lot of muscle.
Yeah, because figure, I mean, I know she wrote about it was kind of hard to let that go, to realize it's time to move out of figure, because I mean, that's obviously where she wanted to be, but I mean, we love putting on muscle, but the judges are going to be like, listen, you got to move up if you want to win.
I mean, the girls that are going to Olympia for figure are still big. They're big bitches, and it's awesome, and I love it. But there's like, she was just a little too big.
It's just, I think her shape is so dramatic.
Yeah, very much so.
Like I don't know what she looks like in person, because you know how some people look different, but yeah, just on stage when you're next to the other girls, it's just who shows up that day, and she's obviously going to be dramatically shaped different. So
yeah, she's going to dominate. It's unreal. Yeah. I can't wait to see what she does next year. I'm kind of scared, but
it'll be okay, because I mean, it's the pro league. There's a lot of really good pros. I mean, you competed with that Stephanie, the blonde Stephanie.
Yeah, Fierce Steph. Yeah, Stephanie. Yeah, I love her. We're really good friends, actually. So
I want to get her on the podcast at some point. I think
she would love to.
She's got a nice shape. And I think she's like worked with like Shelby Starnes and stuff.
Yeah, she's so dense, and that's what I need. I need that density. Her back is like perfect.
She's like 35, maybe, I think.
Yeah, she's in her mid-30s.
Yeah.
She's freaking. She's doing powerlifting right now. She's like, I needed a bodybuilding break. I'm going to do powerlifting. And she's she's killing it. She's like nationally ranked too. It's freaking awesome. She's a badass.
Yeah, I've seen her. I remember one time she was throwing these like 150 dumbbells, and I'm like 150, and she's just pulling them. I'm like, whoa.
Easy money. She's badass. She's awesome too. She's really funny, and she's a wonderful person actually too. We met at Prestige. Well, we were like following each other and like talking to each other through our prep.
Mm-hmm.
But we finally met each other at Prestige Crystal Cup in Boca Raton last summer, and we just are like buddies now. I talk to her probably almost every day, but
Yeah, I was
it's
excited
awesome.
to see you next to
How
each
many?
other.
Yeah, it's so. She lives in Indiana. She's literally 4 hours away from me. I could go. She wants me to go see her. I just need to freaking do it and take some time off work to go do it. But
I think she trains at that Indie Barbell, which I follow that gym. That's pretty.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Garrett Fear's got a good thing going on over there too, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But she's definitely one of those people that I was like, yep, we're gonna be friends for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then if you can kind of be under her wing a little bit. That's cool. When you get into the pro league, that's nice to know that you guys can all kind of like be friends, make some fit sisters, and help each other.
Yeah, for real. Like when my pro debut, I was like, God, I got to stand next to Brooke Walker. Oh my God. I was like fangirling and fearful at the same time. It was insane, but she's actually super cool and really chill. And it was nice to stand next to her. But another girl that's really scary to stand next to is Valentina Machina. She's a beast. She's humongous.
Yes. And you haven't been on stage yet with Natalia yet, huh? Or have you?
No, I don't know if I want to. She's scary. Being next to any of those chicks that have gone to Olympia is like absolutely terrifying because you're just like, I don't want to be compared to you. Like,
but it would still be an honor to be next to them on stage. But then it's kind of like you're like just a part of the party or something up there.
Yeah. Yeah, like that was like Valentina. She was an Olympia qualifier the year before my pro debut, I believe. I think she ended up getting like 16th, and then this last Olympia she got 6th place, which is dope. But I was like, yeah, I stood next to her and I talked to her. She's really cool too. She's insane. She preps for so long. It's scary. It's a lot.
Some girls are like that, I've noticed. Some of them, it's almost like you have to condition yourself to get to that point. Like it's not like that right away.
Yeah.
But like there's a lot of Olympians that just like Sid Gillen, I've loved watching her cheat meal days, and I'm just like, they're insane. But she had to have like built it up to that. There's no way.
Yeah.
Go to Publix for a sub sandwich. Go and get like Eggo waffles with like ice cream and like every Friday. Like
that sounds magical right now.
Yeah, I'm like I'm definitely not someone who gets a lot of cheat meals. Like obviously, I only let myself when my body needs it, which is rare.
Yeah.
Are you like that too?
Yeah. My coach is like, he's like, for now, I don't want to do it. And if I do, it's going to be completely controlled. And I'm like, damn it.
Yes, I know.
I like me some Ben and Jerry's. God.
Is your prep like that where do you get minimal or like no cheats on prep?
Very minimal. When I do, it is extremely controlled because I will go ham and binge like really hard. And and then the cheat didn't work. It did the opposite because I went too hard. There was a couple of times where I didn't go hard and it still like was hit or miss on whether it worked or not. So he's like, really honestly, the cheat meals of you like going out and getting fucking ice cream and like a bunch of cookies, that's not helping. So from now on, if you're going to get a cheat meal, it's going to be a burger and a fry and that's it. I was like, can I just get a candy bar? Just give me something sweet because that's all I really want.
I'm a sweet person too. I know you always post the dessert pages. I'm like, oh, okay.
How I pass the time.
It keeps you sane during prep.
It really does. Everyone's like, you're so crazy for doing that. Like, how do you put yourself? It was like, because I'll do it right after I ate a meal. And it's don't judge me. I've done it for 3 hours. I've scrolled 3 hours through food, videos, pictures, and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, it's time to eat again. That's great. So it's like time management right there.
Yeah. Just like daydreaming, but just how we have access to all these.
Yeah. There are days where I was like, I can't look at this right now. It's like, it makes me angry because I can't have it. But so I'm just like, nope, I can't do it. And then when I first started bodybuilding, I would go like crazy with some like sugar-free gum, and ended up having gut problems because of that. So my coach is like, you're not allowed to chew gum during prep. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
I know a lot of people that do the gum and stuff. That has to be like, did your jaw hurt?
No, like it did. It depends on the gum. If it's juicy fruit, sugar-free juicy fruit, that's because you have to eat like 17 pieces for it to stay sweet in your mouth. So that was like the one I could go through like 6 packs of that in a day.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad. And I was going through like 2 packs of gum. That's like 24 sticks of gum, and then double that. So I was going a little crazy on it. It's like, and then I get a really bad stomach ache, and then I'd be like super gassy, wouldn't poop, all this crazy stuff. And I'm just like, all right, well, this is what happened. This is what I did. He's like, yeah, stop that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not allowed to have any artificial sweeteners during prep anymore either. Like I can't have like Splenda, stevia, sugar-free, like pump or the flavorings at Starbucks. He doesn't want me to do that. Sugar-free maple syrup. Like
You
he's
don't do
just like, no.
or anything.
Every time I do it, I'll either go a little too far with it, or it'll just screw me up.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, let's just cut it out completely. That way we know that that's not causing an issue. So he's like, has me doing, I literally eat the same thing every single day. It's just easier that way. And it doesn't really bother me. And people think it does, like think it should, and it doesn't, because my life is easier. I don't have to think hard about food when I'm tired, which is great. But he said, I want you to keep it literally the same every day. So that way we know exactly what's going on if you add anything or if you take away anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, he's like, just take out anything that could cause any potential problems. So I don't even eat chicken anymore because it used to bloat me.
Really?
Yeah, it sucked because it's like ground turkey and ground beef is all I get. And he's like, well, you can have fish too. But I tried a pescatarian diet for like 8 months, and I don't want to eat fish for like 3 years. So it was a lot of fish.
Yeah. And fish, I like fish because it's easy on the stomach, but I really don't think it fills you up like chicken and beef does.
No, absolutely not. It just like, it's such a mild taste too. So it's like, it just doesn't satisfy you. Granted, I don't think I'm ever satisfied when I eat anything anymore. So
Do you
unless
do seasonings? Since you
do it,
do like sauces and stuff, are you doing seasonings?
I do during the off season. The one sauce that I do choose is the Southwest mustard from Walmart. It's a Great Value brand. It's so good. It is
good.
fire. Absolute fire. And
That
I
was
like
hard to
it
not
never gets old for me. I go crazy with different flavors of mustard. Like I have dill mustard, Cajun mustard or Cuban mustard, freaking stone ground, all that stuff, and I'll like rotate them.
Yeah.
But I had to take out the sugar-free barbecue sauce. I was so bummed because that stuff is delicious.
It is. It's nice that the mustard's cheaper though, which that's the key.
But then when I'm prepping actual prep, I have to go back to either stone ground or original mustard. Bummer. I'll still use the Southwest. I just can't like annihilate my food with it like I have been.
I don't blame you. I mean, I even use it sometimes for spinach dressing because it's
no, it's so good. I would do that with honey mustard too. Amazing. And then there's all these different types of almond butters now that I'm like, okay, there might be 2 grams of added sugar in this, but I'm in my off season. I won't lie. I can't remember what the freaking brand is, but it's from Walmart. It starts with M. It's not a Walmart brand. It's like the $10 jar of freaking almond butter, and they have banana flavor. It's so good.
Yeah.
The vanilla flavor literally tastes like cake batter. It's dangerous.
That one, that Legend brand has that chocolate peanut butter or something with banana, like you just said, in it. I got it for like peak week, my last show. I was like, this is so good. Like like a Nutella thing where I feel like I could just
Ugh.
spread it all over my body.
I feel that on a spiritual level for real. Like I have to be so careful with that stuff because I used to get sun butter. Sun butter is so good. And
Yeah.
it literally tastes like what's inside of a Reese's peanut butter cup to me. And I almost ate an entire jar once and I was like, okay, I can't get this anymore because this is dangerous. There's so many different things. Like there's a lot of stuff that I can eat that's just dangerous to have because I could eat too much of it.
Yeah, that's why I'm really glad my current coach doesn't do like almonds or nut butters because like I would rather not. I don't know what it is with me. I'm probably like you. It's just I'll probably overdo it and like I'll know it, but I'll just be like, nah, it don't matter.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this one doesn't count. The
Yeah,
spoonful doesn't count either. Just
yeah.
keep going.
I'm just like, it's so smooth. And I'm like, it's such a small amount. That's not even fair.
Right. I literally have to weigh my almond butter now. My coach makes me. He's like, don't you dare put it inside of a tablespoon and say that's a tablespoon because it's not.
I feel like you have to like do it, put the jar away, like throw it. Don't
Like seriously,
like
I put the lid
no,
on.
there's
Put
no
the lid on right away. Put it in the fridge.
yeah.
Forget that. Out of sight, out of mind.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Oh,
I'm like,
exactly. I'm like, yeah, get that out of here. Just pretend like it was the very last bit and there's no more.
yeah,
It's funny how we're like that.
for
So,
real.
what did you do during quarantine? Did you have your own gym or anything at home?
Yeah, so I was living with a couple of friends during when it first like started getting weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they decided to close the entire state down, they had to move because my friend's husband, he took like a really serious like pay cut and they moved back towards their home or his hometown to save money because it's too expensive to live in Chicago and not make enough money.
Yeah.
It's insane out here. Illinois is just insane in general when it comes to that. But so I moved back to my parents' house to save money for myself because they're like, we won't make you pay rent when you're here and we'll buy you food. And I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
So they actually have a home gym in their basement. They have a bench press. There used to be a squat rack down there, but my dad took it out because he wasn't using it anymore. I convinced my dad to buy a Stairmaster
Oh shit. That's
when I moved back from North Carolina so I had a Stairmaster for my pro debut prep, which was dope. And I didn't have to like go to the gym before I went to work in the morning. So that was nice. But we have like, I bought a pulley system to do lat pull downs and stuff like that. We had dumbbells up to like 80 pounds and a bunch of plates. So I could do bench and RDLs and all that stuff and goblet squats. I was starting out with a lot of band stuff that was down there because I didn't have the pulleys yet, but I was like, I need weights. I can't do this.
Yeah, the bands were cool for like a month, if that. So,
yeah,
because I got the Elite FTS ones that John Meadows endorses, and they were definitely a game changer. Like, I liked the bands because I just bought a whole bunch of them. And I thought that was better than sometimes the barbell that I had. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. It just was hard to like put on enough weight and feel comfortable with it.
I won't lie. I used a band and I freaking broke it and got a bloody nose. So it snapped right in my face. And I was like, yep, it's time. Pulleys, buying it. I don't care. I got it from I think the company's called Spud.
Mm-hmm.
They have some good shit. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. I went upstairs and I'm like, got this paper towel over my face. And my mom's like, what happened? It's like a band broke. I'm one of those girls on Instagram.
Yeah, the ones that
I didn't get a video of it though. It's like, this is why I need a real gym, you guys. This is fucked up.
Yeah. And when did Georgia open up? Do you remember?
Gyms.
Because I know we were the week before Memorial Day, so I don't know if that helps you. Were you around the same time?
I have no idea because I started going into where I work
Okay.
and
That's
using that facility. I
mhm.
would use that facility like once a week during quarantine since my parents lived like an hour and 20 minutes away from where I worked. And I eventually was commuting from there when we opened back up, and that friggin' sucked.
I remember hearing you say that, and you were
Yeah.
like, "I need a place soon."
Yeah.
Now, what did you do about that? Or did you move, or you're still with your parents, or?
No, I actually moved. I did the whole commuting thing for like I think 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, and I was like, I this is draining me. I'm literally on the road 18 hours a week. I don't like to do this. I get home super late and I literally have to wake up and turn around and go.
Because you're
And
working
it
and the
sucked.
gym all in one stop.
Yeah. So I could work out where I work. The only thing was I couldn't shower where I worked. So, but actually towards the end, when we got closer to opening our facility back up, my coach was like, he only wanted me to work out once a week
Mhm.
because he's like, your body's way too stressed. You need to stop doing what you're doing. Super hard pill to swallow. I got a little depressed, I think, after that. And it took some time to get used to. And then I was like, all right, I guess this will be fine. So it was like I started doing like slipping in a second one every now and then. But
Mhm.
he's like, if it doesn't fit your schedule, don't do it. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. And I was like, damn it. This is like my therapy and you're taking it away from me. What the fuck else am I going to do? But so I didn't need to work out that much during that time,
Mhm.
which was kind of nice to be able to use quarantine as a means for me to heal my body from the inside out. But when I did, I think I just went over to where I worked when I did have to train. So it was kind of a shitty drive, but I had more than what I needed.
Mhm.
So
That's good. Yeah,
yeah.
that's good that you were able to pretty much get a little more out of your work since it's kind of you're in the same fitness type
Hmm.
industry. Because hey, I work here, I'm going to use what they have too.
Yeah.
And then you were only doing like you said you were only doing like one workout a week. Was that like a full body type of thing?
Yeah. I would do like a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Just like I would do like 3 sets of 12 of everything. He's like, don't do anything crazy, nothing to failure.
Mhm.
Don't do any drop sets. Don't work hard. That's what he said to me. He's like, you're not allowed to work hard. And I went, that's like telling me I'm not allowed to blink.
It's true.
He's told me this multiple times. After I trained legs with that group of guys, he's like, you're not allowed to work hard, just so you know. And I was like, shut up. Are you serious? It's like, because I put on like 3 pounds of water after I destroyed myself. But
Yeah.
so I had to kind of pull the reins back a little bit for that one. But
Did that help your hormones doing that? Taking as hard as it was, did it help?
it absolutely helped. And it was like, oh my God, I'm that person that I'll stay at the gym for 3 or 4 hours if I could and find something to do
Mhm.
because I'd rather be there than sit around and doing nothing
Mhm.
or working. I mean, I love my job, but I would much rather train every day and not have to work. That'd be sweet, right?
Right.
But so it was tough, but it definitely helped. I suggest everybody do that. And it takes a real like telling a pro athlete that they have to take a break and they can't prep is really hard.
Yeah,
Like
because you
on
feel
me,
like you're
it was
taking 3
hard
steps
on
back.
me
Yeah.
because you're telling a workhorse you can't work, and I'm just like, wait, what? And like, there's people that will coach hop because of that.
Yeah.
They'll go from coach to coach. Like, this coach won't prep me because my blood work, because I won't get blood work. This coach won't prep me because they said that what I did last year was too much. I needed to take a longer break.
Doesn't that
And
sound
like,
crazy? Like,
it yeah.
I don't know, like, I just to me, that almost sounds like you're being a big baby.
Like, I get it though, because
Yeah.
what we're doing to ourselves is insanely addictive.
Yeah.
We're addicted to the results. We're addicted to the process. and
Mhm.
we're addicted to that look.
Yeah.
And it's like when we lose it and it's not there anymore, it sucks. And it's like hurting your feelings almost. And you're just like, you hate yourself kind of. You get body dysmorphia at times 1,000. And you're like, I just want to prep so I can feel better about myself, which
Right.
is stupid because honestly, you're not going to be in bodybuilding for the rest of your life.
Right. And
You
then I think
have to get
social
used to it.
media, we all like to be lean for the attention on social
Yeah.
media.
And it's weird. Honestly, I get more attention when I'm this big bitch on. I'm like, why? Seriously? I'm so fat. Why do you guys like this?
They're
They're
just
like,
like
no,
bigger
you
the
look
better.
so strong. And I'm like, I'm strong when I'm smaller too. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, ugh.
Those legs, girl, you got such big legs, they look good with the lines or like thicker.
Oh shoot. I just made really good friends with this girl that's a new competitor and her freaking legs are bigger than mine. And I was like, Jesus Christ, you make me feel so small. And that's weird.
In physique?
But no, she wants to do physique, but she's gonna do figure just to get her
Mm.
feet wet in the sport
Yeah.
first. It's her first, like, she's still in off season. She did start to prep and then COVID happened, and then she's
Yeah.
like just going into an off season so she could put on some more mass because she lost a lot of weight because she put on some weight after, I don't know, she's in the Navy and she put on some weight when she was done like being deployed, I think. And then she got rid of it all, looks really good. And one of her friends was coaching her through it. Like they did a cut. They're like, all right, this is your little mini cut. We know that you respond to it. Now I want you to put on mass because you need the muscle.
Mhm.
Because she just like was new to even like lifting not too long ago. She's made insane gains, like insane gains. And I'm just like, dude, you're gonna freaking kill it when you do this prep. And I'm super pumped to be right next to you doing prep with you.
Mhm.
Obviously, like she's gonna be an NPC, but it's like still like her doing this is just as motivating as me prepping with another IFBB pros. Like she's hungry and I fucking feed off of her energy. It's awesome.
That's awesome. And I think that's great for prep, to just have someone and you're kind of like the big sister almost. And like
Yeah.
that makes you feel good too, because sometimes you just kind of see a little bit of yourself in someone and you just kind of
Hmm.
feels good to help out.
Absolutely. We're like the same person, like personality wise too. So it's like, well, this is easy. I know that you're full of shit when you say this, like, because we're like the same person. So I can call her out on her bullshit and she calls me out on mine too. So that's always good.
Hey, us like competitors, we end up bitching about the same thing. So sometimes like it's nice to hear the other person bitch or just call you,
Yeah.
be like, listen, we all know the cardio sucks, but you gotta do it.
Yes, it sucks, but you have to fucking do it.
Right. But we love it. We won't skip it. But
Right.
at the same time, it just sucks.
Yeah, I freaking got all over one of my friends. He's down in Texas. He was like, oh, I don't want to cook my food. Like he's going to Miami Nationals. He's prepping for that.
Yeah.
He's like trying to get his pro card. He's like, I don't want to cook food. And he was like, I'm going to go out to eat. I'm going to go out and get some rice and chicken and veggies from this restaurant. And I said, no. I was like, straight up, no. He goes, why? It's dry. There's nothing on it. I was like, you don't know that unless you're standing back there watching them make that. And I said, if you're going to do this prep, you're going to do it right. Do not go get that food. Go to the
Hard on
freaking store, get your freaking food, make your food, and eat it. Said, do this right or don't do it at all. This is
right.
you're full of shit. I was so mad at him for
Mhm.
doing that. I was like, you don't, Mr. Olympia doesn't go out to eat during his prep. If
You're
you
not
want
right.
to be an Olympian, train and eat like one, you dummy. And he's like, oh, you're right. Oh my God, I don't want to cook this food. And I was like, I don't care. If you want this card, you better freaking do it. Your competition's not out there ordering food from a restaurant during prep. Get out of here.
Plus,
He's
just
like,
do it. You'll feel so much better.
yeah.
You'll
He's
bitch
like,
the whole time, but you'll feel so much better.
yeah. He was like, you know what? He's like, you're right. You're freaking right. And I said, it sucks. I know it sucks. It's annoying. It's a pain in the ass. And you just want shit to be easy for you. But guess what? It's not easy for anybody. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So It takes a real person to get through this. So just freaking do it like everybody else has to do it.
Right. And tell him if he gets his pro card, it doesn't end there. Think of
No, he's like, wait, you never go out to eat even during the off season? It's like, only if I'm instructed to get a cheat meal, dude. I don't go out to restaurants ever. Like, like if I to get told have a cheat meal, I'll go do it. But it's like when you're a pro, your prep doesn't stop. Even when you're in off season, you're still kind of prepping because you can't afford to get super fat. I did it. Ugh,
we all
so
went
guilty.
we all
But like I turned everything around, got my hormones fixed, and I think that was the biggest problem was that estrogen dominance. That's a bitch. It really is.
And like you said, it takes several months. Like I went through it during quarantine. You literally have to chill the fuck out. And that's really hard.
Yeah. Super.
And your body's like, well, I'm going to do this at my own pace.
Yep. And that's the worst part.
Yeah. And everybody's different.
Yeah.
You know, like
you get stuck comparing yourself to people on social media and it hurts. And you're like, why can't I? And I send pictures of people to my coach. I was like, I want to look like this. He goes, that's not you. You're not going to look like that. That's them. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like he's like Gandhi and like, he's like my therapist. I literally I'll tell him everything. I talk to him about my relationship problems. I'll talk to him about pooping. Like I talk to him about my menstrual cycle. Like he knows everything about me. It's insane. Like I tell him more stuff than I tell my parents.
Oh yeah. And it's almost like that person that should know everything. Cause like all of that is your body, you know, your emotions, your organs and everything. Like it's good that you tell him and that you're comfortable with that. Cause I'm sure there's a lot of people that aren't comfortable with even talking about half of those things.
Yeah. And, I've had some people tell me, they're like, oh, I'm going to do like this little mini cut before I check in with my coach so that they don't know that I was this weight before. I was like, you know what? You know what I did to myself this one time was like, I literally ate like an asshole for 6 hours straight in one day. It was terrible. And I told my coach the next day, I was like, this is what I did. I have to tell you because there's no, like, I can't get rid of this damage that I just did to myself or have an excuse for it. That's because if I don't tell you the truth and you give me more food or you give me less food and it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, then I'm screwing myself over. So being honest with your coach is probably hands down, one of the most important things you can do, because if they don't know what's going on with you, they don't know how to adjust anything.
Right. And you pay them. If you're not going to listen to them, that's not like on them. You're the one that pays them.
Yeah. So, and he gets pissed at me when I'm like, hey, I fucked up. And there's some times where I'm like, I'm just not going to tell him about this time. But if he asks, then I always like come clean. I'm like, damn it. Yeah, I fucked up.
I'm sure you
And like, be like, you're killing me, dude. It's like, just stop doing this to yourself. I'm like, just like, I'm freaking hungry, man. I just want to eat this shitter. It's like, I just need to have a cheat meal. And I just took it upon myself to have one. He's like, no, you can't really do that anymore. And I was like, shoot. All right. So, but being honest with him, it sucks. And it like, when he tells me he's disappointed in me, it's like my dad telling me that he's disappointed in me. It's like, you be mad at me. Don't ever tell me you're disappointed. That's 10 times worse than someone being mad at you. And I hate letting him down. I absolutely hate it. And every time I fuck up, I feel like I'm letting him down. And he's like, well, it's your body, like you're screwing yourself over. You're not screwing me over because I'm still getting your money. But he's like, you need to be more responsible with this. And I was like, I know, you're right. So I try to be as honest and upfront with him as I possibly can because I think it's super important. Because if he gives me more food after I just fucking binge eat for 2 hours of like cookies and ice cream, how is that going to turn anything around? It's just going to make it worse.
It's just even more work. And after a while, you end up realizing how much work that is. And you're just like, really, I did all that pleasure for the pain that I have to now endure.
Yes. It was like, do I regret it? Oh, and I'll like sit there eating stuff I'm not supposed to eat. And I'm like, why am I like saying, why am I doing this? And I can't stop. And I
While
just
you're
keep
full.
going. And then I'm like, oh, why did I do? I was like, and I'll tell myself, I'll get a pint of ice cream and I'll be like, Kayla, you don't have to finish this.
Yeah. The
But I
food.
do.
The food, you can always buy ice cream. Ice cream's not going away.
I've gotten a little better where it's like, I know I'm full,
Mhm.
but I don't want to stop because I just want to finish it because it's so good.
Uh,
But I'm
That's
like,
how
Kayla,
show
you're
it.
full.
You get
You're
done with your
full. Throw
show.
it away.
Yep. I have to
Throw
like,
that shit away. That's a good idea. I've never thought about that.
yeah,
Throw like
brush your teeth so that it just, everything will taste like shit unless you actually keep eating it and make the toothpaste taste go away. And at that point, then you're just like, I'm crazy.
oh my God, that'd be so gross. Mint and like chocolate or like, no, that sounds delicious. But mint and I don't know, whatever, like fruity candy or something like that. But
Brush your
I
teeth.
always have like cheater's guilt
Yes.
after cheat meals, and then I like, why did I do that to myself? Why did I do that? And then I'm like, I'm not gonna weigh myself tomorrow, but I always do. And I'm like, yep, I fucked up.
Where's my
Big time.
diuretics?
Give me some diuretics right now. Yeah.
Oh gosh, girl. So I also wanted to make sure we asked about, is it okay to talk about your next show? Do you have a
Yeah.
new show in mind?
Yeah. So we
You
want to
said
do
prep starts in November.
we want to do St. Louis Pro.
Cool. When's that usually?
April. See,
Oh,
my
that's
only
our
thing
early
is
show.
my only question is the schedule going to go back to normal next year?
It's
Because
like,
they
I want
pushed back Olympia. So
yeah,
Olympia's in December. And if they're going to go back to their original schedule, it's kind of good for us underdogs because then all the big dogs are going to be in their off season
yeah.
and then they won't be able to compete till later in the year.
Mhm.
So I will have a better chance at scoring points or placing better unless some of these girls decide to just jump right into a show early and not really give themselves a full off season.
Yeah,
So it's really hit or miss.
with the Olympia and the Arnold so close together too, that will be interesting.
Yeah, I was like, that's why I was wondering. Starting to question whether they're going to like leave it open for people to just go to the Arnold, or if it's still going to be invite. Because I heard I was watching the Classical Queen. You know who that is?
Yep, I know her.
Yeah, she did like a guest posing routine at some show, and they announced they announced it and she cut the video off like before they finished the sentence, but they said that she's going to do her pro debut at the Arnold Classic. And I was like,
Cool.
how can you do a pro debut at the Arnold Classic? You have
Oh,
to get invited.
yeah, you're right. Okay, I see what you're saying there. So
And
it's almost like
so
you just
I
feel
hit my coach up and I was like, how is this? How did she get to do that? And he's like, maybe the only way she could have is if she wrote a letter, or if they because she's so big on social media, they just asked her to come, which she had won a posing competition somewhere too. So maybe she got an invite to the Arnold because of that. I don't know. But I was like, maybe they are letting people just enter the Arnold because the schedule got so screwed up.
Well, I think they were doing that, I think, with national shows. I think they were kind of just letting it slide if people wanted to just
Yeah.
do a national.
There was a girl that didn't even qualify for nationals my coach was telling me about, and she got her freaking pro card. I was like, they weren't checking. This was at North Americans.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that's
They didn't check.
Yeah. I mean, and the show
okay.
was huge. I mean, if I was an amateur and wanted to compete that bad and I didn't have a national qualifier, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Pittsburgh was like, I don't care. Plus, yeah, they
kind of fucked up though. I was like, that sucks for a lot of people that worked their butts off to qualify for a national show when they could have just been prepping to get ready for one. Like, come on, that's not fair.
Yeah, I
mean,
it's
a
not
weird
like
year.
No idea, but I'm not prepping during 2020 paying for an NPC like card when I can probably fit 1 or 2 shows in, because I know a few girls.
They're so crushed together.
Yeah, and then they're all at the same place. Like Team Universe is going to happen here soon down in Charleston. And I'm like, well, that's like cool because like the other, I think it's Junior Nationals was in Charleston too. So
Mhm.
I'm like, man, like that's so cool how they're so close together. So it's almost like it's easier now. Or I don't want to say easier, but you have a better chance of keeping your look, especially if you're like this close and then the national
Yeah.
goes like the next week. I'm like, jeez. So you got the St. Louis coming up. Did you ever do that show before or no?
No, it was literally the plan last year, but I was not 4 weeks out from the show. I looked like I was 6 or 8 weeks out. So I was like, I'm not ready. So we
Respond.
pushed it back to Omaha.
Mhm.
Um, that was so, yeah. I want to do St. Louis Pro because I know it's going to be challenging.
Yeah, that's a big show usually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's where like there's a lot of Olympians actually competed. I know Natalia's competed at St. Louis Pro, and I was like, that's scary, but I want to do it because then I can see where I stand versus those girls kind of thing.
Yeah, early in the year too, because you can hop into. I mean, even if you wanted to come do the Pittsburgh Pro, that'll be in May. Come on out.
Oh yeah, I didn't even like I was trying to think about that, but the question is WPD is that one of the divisions that's in there? Because not every pro show doesn't have all divisions at them, which
Right.
is super. That was the weirdest thing that I've ever experienced. I was not ready for that. I was like, oh, I want to do this show, this show, this show. My coach goes, there's no WPD in that one or that one or that one. I
Yeah,
was like,
you're right
damn.
about that.
Like last year at Chicago Pro, that was the first year they had WPD.
Yeah. Ooh. Now that
So I
makes
was
me
like,
think like maybe I should write a letter and be like, you guys need like your physique girls at the Pittsburgh Pro.
yeah.
Maybe
So, and it like they might have WPD, but it might just be masters.
right. No, I now that you say that, I don't think they only had amateurs at the Pittsburgh Championship, not the Pittsburgh Pro. So now I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
now I gotta like
It's weird that they break I mean, I get it because I
well
don't
yeah,
know if it's like it's harder to get enough people when you have to show up to it. And like, if no one shows up, I don't know. I don't know why they choose like, oh, we're just going to have these divisions here for the
yeah.
pros. It's
Always
like, we gotta
bikini
have them all.
physique.
Make more money.
Yeah. Like I thought I went to the Japan Olympia last year and they only had bikini men's physique and men's bodybuilding open. And I was just like, man, if I was a pro, like I would have loved to do the show, but there'd be no figure.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's lame.
it really is. I was like so blown away by the fact that not every show has every single division. It would be a really long friggin' day, but
True, but
especially like men's bodybuilding. Jesus, when I was at Chicago Pro, there were so many of them, and they literally called all of our names out, and I was just like, because we had to do this meet the pros thing where we all sat at tables in the convention center or whatever. It's like people would come up and talk to you. It's like nobody knows who the hell I am. Like no one's gonna come talk to me. I don't like why am I here? And like people are like, well, could I take a picture with you? Like I follow you on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, I'm sure. Like
oh,
one person, and I was like, cool. People do know me. That's neat.
you'd be surprised.
I was very surprised, and like when I moved back to Illinois, I don't understand this sometimes, but like people that I didn't know knew who I was. And I was like, what?
Uh,
And they're like, oh yeah, you're like this girl like came up to me at the gym once. She goes, I follow you on Instagram, right? I was like,
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. I was like, I have like 10,000 followers. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And she's like, she's like, I do. I definitely do. And I was like, why would you ask me if you knew the answer to that question?
It was
But
almost
she's
like a
like,
fangirl moment, but just awkward.
yeah. And she's like a bikini girl. She's like, you're amazing. And I'm like, oh, thank you. That's sweet of you.
Here, get out
But
of
then there's like people like calling me by name, and I'm just like, who are
well,
what?
you are a pro.
I'm not famous. Like, and there's people around the Chicago area that know who I am. And I was like, what? I don't like, I haven't lived here that long. And then I guess, oh, it was so weird. And people are like, oh yeah, my chiropractor, my athletes were like, yeah, my chiropractor is a bodybuilder. And I told him that you were, and he goes, oh yeah, I know who she is. And I'm like, I don't know who he is, but okay. It's weird like that. It gets super weird.
The bodybuilding community is kind of small. I
It
think
is a lot
we're
smaller
all
than I
famous
thought.
to each other. You know,
Yeah, yeah, for real.
like we're not like The Rock. We're not that cool. But like we all end up hearing about each other, and I feel like it's just this in the inner cities and stuff. Like I could tell, I know all the bodybuilders here in Pittsburgh, like, and it
Yeah.
was really hard for me not to know them because just from like all the local gyms and everything, I think
Hmm.
you just come around and hear people and things like that. Um,
Yeah.
so I have had you on for we're probably about an hour now, and I wanted to let you go ahead real quick and talk about like any of you have your codes and stuff. Do you want to say those in your social media accounts?
Sure, that's fine. Gosh, I always forget what my tag is because I changed it to
I think it's K
it's
Liz for
K.
all of them.
Yeah, it's Kayla's. My codes are all Kayla's and then numbers, but my Instagram tags kayliz.ifbb.pro. I work with Violate the Dress Code. I believe my code is Kayla's10 for them. I work with Amino Asylum and my code is Kayla's15.
Mm-hmm.
New Ethics, my code is Kayla's18. And my Inspire brand, this is a CBD company. It's really good. It is Kayla's10 as well.
Well, and I'll make sure to put those in the show notes from the podcast and everything too. But they're on your Instagram.
Yes, they're all in my bio. And then there's a website. I think it's Amino Asylum website.
Yeah.
Because everyone struggles to find that for some reason. But yeah.
Anything else? Like, do you have a YouTube or anything?
I think I do. Like someone asked if they could make a YouTube channel for me, and I was like working with them for a little bit, but then it just kind of fizzled out. So, but I don't really. No, I don't do anything on YouTube. I'm just Instagram all the way.
Instagram's good. It's easy.
Yeah.
And when's your birthday?
My birthday is June 12th.
Okay, I was gonna say I think you're close to me then. So you're a Gemini too, huh?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
We're talkers.
We are. I could do this like for 6 hours. I guarantee it.
I know, because I was literally like, oh crap, we have to talk about your future plans. But then
Yeah.
the hormone thing is such a big thing. So you know what? I'll just have to ask to bring you on after one of your pro shows or something.
Oh, absolutely. Or like even like a week out, or like if I feel not like death, we could definitely do a peak week interview.
It will help you not think about food.
Or we might just talk about food the entire time. Who knows?
Well, we might, but at least I'll know. I'll be like, listen, Kayla's not having this right now. Like, quit sabotaging her. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on. This was like a really fun podcast. A lot.
Oh, absolutely.
You were my
anytime.
So I was super excited.
For sure.
All right, girl. Yeah, I'll see you around, and good luck for 2021.
Yes, thank you. You as well.
All right, girl. Have a good night.
Thanks. You too.